Hey everyone, welcome back. So in the last video, we just jumped right in, I actually set up a smooth camera snap within the project, and in this one we're going to look at the motion, so actual moving the player forward, back, left and right, and how we can use one of the thumbsticks on our controller to do so. So first thing we need to do is actually create some inputs. So we're going to go to project settings, going to go down to input, and in here we actually need to go to axis mappings. We're going to create two new mappings and we're going to call it move forward slash back. So move forward slash back, and we're going to call one move left slash right. So this is where we need to decide what inputs we want to use for the movement. I find when playing VR it's actually nicer to move with the left thumbstick. So I'm going to use that for this because we can move with the left thumbstick and we can snap the camera with our right, similar to using a gamepad. So on our move forward slash back, we're going to select that one. We're going to find our Oculus touch controller, so we can go down. You see it's got Oculus touch. And in here we just need to select the one that we want. So we're going to use the left controller. So we're looking for Oculus Touch L for left. And then we're going to look for the thumbstick. But we actually need thumbstick Y. So we're going to use Y for forward and back. So if you actually struggle with knowing which is X and Y, you can actually do Y to the sky. And usually you point that forward and it'll be pointing up. So it's just a good way to remember that. And then X is just the other one. So we're going to use the same thing. We're going to go to Oculus, we're going to go to Oculus Touch, we're now looking for left thumbstick X, so we're going to select that one, and we don't actually need to change any of these values. So with that done, we are going to move this to the side, and we're going to, we'll just close that, and in our event graph for our actual motion controller pawn, we're going to right click, and we're going to type in, we do event move. You see it actually brings up both of our new events that we just created. So we're going to have move forward, and then we're going to do event move left right, which is exactly what we're after. And we're actually going to use a world offset. So we're going to add world offset, and for this we're going to need to use the default scene route. So we got that selected. And we're going to do Control W because we need that for the other movement as well. And we're going to plug the default scene route into both. So we've got them. And the next thing we need to do is actually get the camera's location. So we're going to use the camera to decide which direction we're going to move in. So we're going to drag off our camera. We're going to do the move forward first. So we'll do the top one. So we'll get forward vector, so it's just popped up. Let me zoom in just so you can see that. And then we're going to drag off this and we're going to go project vector onto plane. So just keep this tidy as we go. And so don't forget, we actually need to change the Z value to 1. So I'm going to drag off here now, and I'm going to multiply. We actually need to multiply by a float, and then we can plug that into our delta location. And while here, we'll just make sure sweep is enabled on both, just so we don't forget. And now we can actually use the axis value to control our movement speed. So we're just going to drag off there, and I'm going to hold Shift and star, so Shift 8, and we're going to actually multiply this by a float. So float by float, which we can plug into our multiply, and we're going to create our own float called smooth movement speed. So I'm just going to right click on our pin, promote the variable, and now I can type, just do movement speed. We do correct caps, movement speed, and we're going to set this value to 5. So just hit compile, 5, and then that's pretty much it for the top one. So if we actually jump in and we hit play, you can see I've got snap still working from the last video, If you want to see that, I'll put a link up in the top right. And then we can actually move based on the direction that our camera is going in. And we can move forward and back, but we can't move left and right. So we're going to set that up now. What we're going to do is actually copy these notes. So I'm just going to hold shift, movement speed, project on the plane, and camera. And if I move the mouse down and do Control W, it'll actually duplicate all of those over. So we're going to plug that into our delta location, and we'll plug in our axis value. And what we actually need for the camera now is get right vector. So get right vector, compile, save, and now if we hit play now, we have the ability to walk around. So we can still teleport, but we can also move, still interact, do everything else. So I hope you enjoyed this one. That's it for now. In the next video, we'll look at falling and how you can actually fall from a ledge and drop down. So let's do what we normally do. We'll just tidy this up. So we'll select everything. We'll do C on the keyboard. We'll put a comment around it. So we'll call this movement controls. That's pretty much it for how to set up smooth locomotion with VR. So until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye! So we've cleaned up our code, so that's pretty much it. So if you enjoy this, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date.